Okay, there we go. What's up, everybody? Um, my name's Christmellow. Now that we got my mic working, I'm very excited to welcome y'all to the first Brunch and Beats. Uh, we're gonna show you just how I make my beats and everything. I'm really focused on loops. I don't know. I enjoy them. I enjoy working with those. They're pretty. I'm not gonna lie, pretty easy. It makes things sound good, and then I kind of mess with it from there. I'm still growing as a music producer and everything. I just started about 2 years ago, so I'm really just starting from scratch and just trying things that I like. So I'm by no means trying to pretend like I know everything or whatever, but I just want to show you kind of what I do and how I work. Check out my website, christmellow.com. It's got links to my new beat tape, Depression Music, on there. It's emotional, very sad. Get sad is kind of my catchphrase. Get sad, feel good. I'm gonna have some singles coming out soon. That some have the beats that are in that. Some new beats as well. Some stuff you'll hear on here. Feel free to hit up the chat room. Hopefully we get some people watching and enjoying some stuff. Yeah. So thanks for coming if you have. Also, just wanted to shout out my shows page on here. I'll have some more shows coming up for the live streaming during this times of plague. And then also I got my music up here, both my I'm rescheduled this. I need to update my website. uh, Dropping the information that that album's not coming out till the fall probably. But I got a link to my old EP on here under my last name that I'll probably have coming out remastered soon. And then along with links to Depression Music on here. Stay in the loop by checking this site out. Also have a Facebook page and YouTube as well with some other videos. And I'm going to be posting a full live stream show right now. I just have one clip from that up. So you can check that out, but I'll be posting the full live stream soon. Along with this video as well, if you want to watch it again, if you're not already watching. So yeah, let's get started, I guess. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. So I usually make my stuff on Studio One. I don't have that screen up. Wait. Let's actually pull that screen up so y'all can see it. There we go. So I like to make beats in Studio One, professional Studio One 4. I think the majority of the reason that I ended up using it was because of Splice, and it's a very high priced DAW, and you can rent to own. So it's nice to be able to use a very professional, expensive tool for just a monthly cost that you eventually own it, and I like how in-depth and complicated it is. It means a lot of times I end up using it wrong or doing, like, it takes me a while to figure out something that maybe in another DAW is a little bit simpler, but I like how much control this has, and it has a really great set of plugins. But I started in GarageBand. Most of the stuff off No One was made in GarageBand, and I highly suggest that or Bandcamp before buying a DAW. I kind of wish I would have spent less money up front and kind of got to know stuff before buying stuff. So yeah, let's just get to it. So create new song. And I'm always trying to name stuff, although I forget a lot. Or I'm just too lazy, to be honest. It sucks, but hey, that's how life is. So but name stuff, because then if you go back to it, you'll be able to find it a lot easier versus sometimes you're just confused on what you're doing. So I don't really do anything first. I usually just kind of start looking for the loop that I'm going to start basing this off of. So let's pull up no big secrets here. I like using Splice a lot. It's where I get 99% of my loops from. I just think they got a really good selection of stuff. So I I don't, however, just like going for what's popular and searching that way. Sometimes I do. Sometimes you hear good stuff just right off the bat. What I actually really enjoy doing is I will just kind of try to think where I want to start on whatever type of beat I want to make. Maybe something that I haven't done in a while. Today, I'm really feeling something kind of more bumping, a little bit more fun than anything else. So for me, that means I either want to start with like an 808 bass or just some kind of or like a fun drum line or like a cool synth lead. So let's go into synth. And I always do my search by random because I'm just trying to look for something unique that sounds right. And sometimes I think if you just do popular, it's like everybody else is already using that. So why do that? And go for a loop. And like I said, I kind of just want something to be fun and bumping. So I'm going to look around the 90 to 120 range for my first loop. But sometimes, you know what, I'm not going to do this because what happens a lot is I'll find something that is a different BPM and I'll think about it in faster or slower terms as a good thing to do. So let's just start going through this. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it through my speakers. Oh, interesting. This isn't working right now. Cool. Let's figure out what did I do wrong here because I can't even hear this now. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, there we go. It's just not playing yet. There we go. I don't know, not really digging it too much. It's alright. Not for today, but I do like that, so I'm going to download it. And this is like, in all honesty, a lot of the process is just right here. I'm going to make sure this is mixed alright. Basically, you can hear me still talking over these. But yeah, most of the process is just looking through this and trying to find something that sounds right for what I'm looking for. Okay, I like that a lot. Sometimes you find it right away. Sometimes I spend like literally an hour looking for one, but that's usually later on in the process. So let's listen to this again, kind of get that vibe going again for what we're looking for. So I like that a lot. So this is around 122. So right off the bat, we might want to look for some variations around that tempo. So either maybe something that's like 67, right? That would equal 122, around that tempo. So that way we can play around with it a little bit with time. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my stream, but first I'm going to pull up Studio One actually in the live stream. And going to go ahead and pop this over here. And then usually I turn it down a little bit to start. One of the things I do really like that I have is this, I don't know, I'm not going to adjust the camera, and also these aren't too long. But I have a favorite fader port from Studio One. It's really nice because it gives you a tactile feel for a lot of the buttons and transport controls. So I'm a really big fan of that. Oh, I thought I put the tempo in here. I guess I didn't. So 122. That makes more sense now. So it's a little short. Oh, no, it's not. Make sure in the right little thing there. So we got a 5-bar loop. And right off the bat, I'm just going to go and copy paste this because I just want to hear that again right after I've heard it, you know? That's what my brain's saying. And it works perfectly. Sometimes you'll need to like add a little reverb or something on there to smooth over the edges or fade in and out, but that sounds good just as is. So let's go back over to Splice and start to look for some more beats and just things to work with. I'm pretty confident with that being most of the low end. Eventually, I'm probably going to want to find something that collaborates with that a little bit more. But let's pop over to drums. And on this, I actually think I do want something that I'm going to double time. So let's look for 67 to see if there is anything. And sometimes there's literally nothing at that BPM because it's a really weird BPM. That's pretty nice. Let's just see how this sounds under it. And these credits are really cheap. When you look down at, it's like you pay a monthly subscription for credits. And so they're really cheap, so don't feel like you have to, be judicious about how you dole them out. So if you notice, I'm taking everything down about 6 to 12 dB to start. Because you can always make stuff louder with tools, and you're going to want to do that. So give yourself some headroom to begin. Now, what did I screw up here? Is this that? Did I not do my math right? It wouldn't be 67. That's why it's 62. Math is very helpful in beat making and in life. So this isn't the right tempo, but that's okay. So we want 62. It's at 67. So let's just try to slow it down just a little bit. Let's try 0.98. So far, it just doesn't seem like they're matching up too well. Okay, well, let's try 90. Sometimes you just gotta, kind of go around, because I'm not that great at math. I'm not that great at like music rhythm stuff, so it's not like I can just figure this out in my head. It's getting closer. Let's try 92. I'm just playing around with the percent of speed playback. It's getting a little bit off. I think I'm very close though. Let's try 0.93. I think we're a little bit fast now. So we're right around the sweet spot there. Can we do 0.925? I don't think so. I think we can only do 0.9. Yeah, it's going to go up to 0.93. Let's do 0.92. And then what we're going to do is pop this kind of over it a bit. And then what we're actually going to do is we're going to go up here to the quantizing. And I like this because you can do quantizing to a groove instead of just a straight up grid. So then what's going to do is analyze what it calls the groove pattern from here. And basically you can set it up to be whatever, you know, it's going to take the groove of that song you're listening to and try to make your quantized beat match a little bit in different ways. I don't like to play around with it too much. It kind of either works or doesn't for me right now. Let's try it out. I like it a little bit, but it's just not hitting right, as you can tell. So let's undo that. Let's try this first. Let's first try some quantizing it to the grid. Maybe we gotta put a little bit of swing in there. Let's see what it does. Oh my gosh. I never transitioned to the Studio One screen that whole time. Wow. Y'all are probably wondering what I'm doing. No one commented. I don't know if anyone's watching right now. That's okay. I'm having fun, and that's really, to me, the whole of this activity is just finding something that you enjoy doing, like literally for the process of it. If you're thinking you're going to enjoy how it goes in the future, and so you're putting in a lot of work down here, and you're not enjoying that work, it isn't really worth it, because you're not going to enjoy the work anymore when you're better at it. So I just like doing this. I don't really care if anybody watches it. If you do, that's awesome, because I like hanging out with people. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, my buddy Newt's here. Canute. Sorry, I had a friend named Newt in high school, or in college. She spelled it the same way. Canute. He was by Biscuit Beats, which I have right here. A really great tape. It's 12 Months in Chicago. I don't know how well you can see that. I gotta focus in a little bit, maybe. It's dope as hell. He took sounds from all over Chicago and made it into 12 different tracks on each one of the months. I really enjoy it. It's just like really nice to listen to, especially if you're from here or if you're interested in just knowing what Chicago's like. It gives you a great kind of tour of the city through sound. It's great. And he just gave this to me because we used to work together. Great guy. So yeah, thanks for coming and checking out. I hope you're enjoying so far. But yeah, let me know if the screen turns off or anything. So yeah, what I've just been messing around with here up here is the quantization settings in Studio One. And so I'm just trying to get this beat to kind of match up to the groove that I'm kind of going with right now. And I don't know if it's gonna work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's getting close. So now what I kind of want to do, now that it's more in rhythm with everything a little bit, I'm actually going to where is it? I'm going to bounce this to a different track. So we're just going to get that quantized grid out. And like I said, sometimes this works. Sometimes this doesn't. Also, sometimes I forget how bouncing works in Studio One, because I thought that was just going to go to a new track, but maybe it just went to the mix down folder. I hit the wrong selection. Bounce to new track. Okay, so now we have the quantized version of that at the lower level on a new track. Mute that one for now. And now we're going to try to groove quantize this audio that's already been quantized to the track. And some, like I said, sometimes this works great, sometimes it doesn't work at all, and it just still sounds shit. We're about to find out. Still not right. That's cool. So let's get rid of this. Put this one back on. Unmute that. So now what I want to try doing, because I like that drum sound, I'm going to try throwing this sample across a drum machine and just try to kind of fuck around with it on the pad to see if I can get that kind of same sound, but in time with the beat that I'm using. And Studio One is a great feature. I think most DAWs that are like you pay for them have it. I know Ableton has something like this. You can't do this in GarageBand, I'm pretty sure, although there's ways around it that you can, but they're kind of complicated. You'll look on YouTube, you'll find a video. But a really cool thing you would do, can you see the impact pad in here? No, I'm going to add this impact pad on here so you can actually see what I'm doing on there. Oh, great. Okay. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this over just a little bit. Put it over my face for now. You don't really need to see that. So what I'm going to do is actually grab the whole audio, and then while holding shift, I'm going to place it onto one of these pads, and it's just going to splice it up at random, kind of what the computer thinks is good time variables for this song, so that way I can play it over different keys. Again, sometimes works great, sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes it gives you really cool cuts, sometimes it gives you shitty cuts that don't work at all. And then I got my little, let's get rid of this, because now you don't really need to see it, at least over my face. Oh man, my mouse is over here. Okay, here we go. So I got my little Kai MPK Mini. And we're just gonna try to fuck around with this and see what of that original track we can really use. Okay, kind of like that. Let's give ourselves some room on this. So we're just gonna move this out of the way. Man, the hardest part about streaming, no one ever tells you, is switching these windows up. So you gotta have somebody else doing your window switching. But basically, we're just gonna extend this out a while so we have some room to play around. In different DAWs, you can do this in a more convenient way. Like Ableton has a session view where you can do that, and it's a lot easier to just record over loops without recording over the loop you just recorded. Studio One doesn't have that, and I'm sure there's a easier way to do it than this. But I'm pretty much if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of guy. So I just like doing it the way I used to do in like Audacity even, which is just copy and pasting. So I'm gonna fuck around with this a little bit and see how it goes. Well, gotta make sure you hit record and mute the other track. Gotta make sure you record and mute the other track. That's pretty dope. I like that so far. Oh, my camera went off. Oh, shit. Okay, that's news. Let's see what happened there. Okay. Man, I am very new to this streaming game, and it is hard. YouTubers make it look so friggin' easy. You know? Here we go. All right, we're back up. It's like my camera just shut off for whatever reason. I must have some weird setting on there. So let's play that back and just see what we like, what we don't like about it. I kind of did like the groove that we were getting into with that. I really like the... Which key is it on here? That like... That kind of auto hi-hat on it. It adds a nice little groove after that you don't have to press, you know? So that's kind of a nice plus. Let's add some more to it and hope that I have the recording set to the right thing where it's not going to erase what I'm about to record, like erase what I just recorded while I'm recording. Again, make sure you have your settings right and mess around with them. It's okay if you lose stuff. Don't beat yourself up about it when you're getting started. We all do it. We all lose stuff that we came up with. You got to record it again. So yeah, let's just hope... Where are some more hatty sounds on here? That's nice. All right, cool. 0. I don't like that. I wasn't too fond of that. So, just undo. It's great. I'm gonna try this one more time. I might move to a different hat set, because this one, everything hat-wise so far has a little bit of a... like other drum in it. It's kind of clouding everything up. So let's maybe just let that be for now. Let's grab another little loop to put over this. If you're hearing anything you want to hear over the track, any suggestions, like, oh, this would be dope with a violin loop or something, you know, put in the comments, let me know. Even in the future when I post to YouTube and it's not live anymore. Because chances are I'm not going to finish this today. I'm not one of those one beat a day kind of person. I've never been that way. I like to work on things over time, listen to it again and again. And it's not great for my workflow. I'd probably be more efficient doing it like the way, like Team No Sleep and like all the legion beats, like making just like beats, and then selling those beats. Probably a better idea, but you know, that's just me. I just like to take my time with things. I don't know. You can see this, right? Okay, cool. I'm on the right screen. Good. Want to make sure from our earlier problems. Wrong page. So, what are we looking for? I'm thinking some keys or guitar might be fun. Let's look at some keys. Let's try around 122. Let's make it easy, you know? And then we'll do something fun with it later. So when I'm building beats, I usually just keep the loops kind of as they are, unless they need some really immediate like EQing or effects to get the idea down. But if I just like them as is, I'm just going to leave them till I build the rest of the beats to add any kind of effects to really make it my own. Usually I do not just put a unchanged like loop into my beat, because I just kind of feel like that's a little lazy. Unless the loop is really just perfect. Some loops are really just perfection as they are, and you shouldn't do anything to them. Just set the right volume. Kind of like that. Kind of like that a lot. Let's see if that fits on in here. So, copy this little baby right on in here. Oh. Hide that. Just to, you know, we'll just put it on the fifth line. Just ooh, I don't know. I kind of like it. It's kind of a little bit overpowering because it's bass heavy. And the bass already has a lot of movement to it. So I don't know. But I don't hate it so far. Yeah, I kind of really like that. But I want to do something with it. This is the point where I want to, like, it's cool as is, but I feel like it needs some kind of, like, extraness to it. Oh, actually, let's just see what it sounds raised up. Let's, oh man, these little pop-up menus don't come across. Very interesting. Is there a way I can... Window capture. Let's just see. Can... what if I do that and then come over here? No. Very interesting. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. There's a little pop-up that comes up, and it shows you can do options like the tempo, transposing it different ways, speeding it up, which is obviously wasn't coming through earlier when I was messing around with it, with the drum beat. All things to learn. So we're going to put this up an octave. So we're just going to transpose 12 and see what that does to it on the keys. I'm digging this. It still sounds a little funky. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and try something that, again, is one of those things that works like 10% of the time, and when it works, it is fucking fantastic that it works. But then the rest of the time, it doesn't work, and it's whatever. And that is extracting to the chord track in Studio One. So basically what it does is it listens to the computer listens to the beat, extracts most of the chords out of the audio that you're selecting. Sometimes it's spot on, sometimes it's terrible, doesn't do it at all. But if it works, then what you can do, and this one it seemed to work pretty well, at least it looks like it matches what the chord change would be in my mind. Again, I'm not really good at this stuff, so that's why I cheat. And then you go over to the information panel, and what you can do is do follow chords. And again, you can't see the options menu, unfortunately, but I'm gonna do parallel as usual, what I start with, and then I'm gonna put it on piano. And now this audio here is going to follow the chords, hypothetically. It's very auto-tuned, and like I said, sometimes it just sounds terrible. It doesn't work at all. Other times it works really well. I'm gonna see what happens. Yeah, I'm really digging this so far. It's still a little like weird. Like I don't know what it is exactly. There's still some. I don't know if it's the bass movement too much here. Zoom on in and take a look. What we can do with any of those parts we want to take out here, I don't know if I want to do it just yet, because I just really like that groove. It just automatically makes me want to like kind of, you know, well, that's kind of what you're looking for. It's just whatever makes you want to vibe, feel good. Whatever. We're gonna figure this out a little bit later, but you can just take those parts out, just like literally cut them out of the beat, and it can really help with changing up loops and making them sound different, even though it's the same audio being played. You can, you know, what I also like to do with bass loops. If you can, this one's very particular sounding, so I probably can't do this with this. You know, it's very like a. It's a synthy sound, and it's got a very specific kind of slap to it. And, you know, it'd be hard to find one, I think, that sounds super similar to it in a way. You know, it's like, obviously it's a normal sounding bass like synth, but one that fools you into thinking it's the same bass being played. I don't think I'm going to be able to find that. But what you can do with like a normal like stand bass or just like any kind of bass guitar loop, you can just find one that's also like a upright bass or a standard bass line, and you can usually through the use of amps plugins just make them sound the exact same. So you get variation, so it's not just all the same loop going, because they do get boring after a while. You just got to keep changing it up, or else your loops will get boring. Which is something I struggle with, because like I said, most of my music is loop based, and it's what I like doing. So let's get back to Splice here, and I think what I want is some kind of like cool vocal, like in the background. The synth already kind of sounds like it. Like you can almost kind of hear a little bit of vocalization almost in that synth piano line. So yeah, let's look Vocals. And vocals takes forever because a lot of times you just hear like, yeah, or like, you know, like it's a very like shouty kind of thing that people do. So it might take a while, but maybe not. I've been finding ones that I like really quick on this. And surprise, a lot of them that I like are Sennheiser. They just have a lot of really fucking good loops.
Gotta get what you want.
No.
With you.
I like that.
Want your attention.
Let's try these out. Oh, that's still playing. That surprised me. So I need my Splice app. Let's pull this one over here. We'll mix with this mixing a little bit. See how this sounds. Let's make this also follow the chord track. Gonna try parallel and lead on that, and this one parallel and yeah, say lead on that as well. Let's try this again. Nope. Need to move that forward a bit. Where does that start on that one? Oh yeah. 3, 2, 3. Ah. Moving too fast. So basically I'm just like, I always try to capture the moment when I'm working. It's like, you know, once you have an idea, you want to try to get that down like as soon as possible and as close to what you want it to be before you kind of lose the vibe or what you were thinking about, you know? Okay, so what do we want to do with this now? Gotta blow the ash off your controller. You smoke blunts like me. So yeah. Definitely want this to come in not right away. So we're gonna do some automation, and basically, again, this comes with your more pricey DAWs. It's not in everything, or at least it doesn't work as instantly. Like, you can track automation in GarageBand and stuff, but you have to like draw it in. You can't actually like do it, at least to my knowledge. There could be some workaround to it, but basically you can record not only just like your instruments, but you can record what you're doing on the plugins and in the interface in real time, and then the computer will do it for you. So I'm gonna write to this track, and always double check, make sure you're on the right one. Make sure you really want to write and not latch or touch, which are all different, because you can really screw yourself over. I've done that a lot by accidentally writing over stuff that I've already automated, and then you just waste time and it sucks. But such is life. And you'll see I'm basically doing this on the fader port. Actually want to redo that and make it a little bit more pronounced. A little bit differently. I think I like that for now. Then we're going to do the same thing on this vocal. I'll do that a little bit differently. Still a little bit too loud. Okay, so we got that going for us. Kind of like that all. And now I think let's get to playing around with plugins. This is a pretty good bass beat, and like I said, I take a lot of time. I don't want to make this too long. I've been going at it for a little, about an hour or so. So let's just get to kind of giving it its own flair and style versus just kind of all these different things that are layered on top of another, because they all sound good, to me at least. I don't know, maybe you guys disagree. So now I'm going to do a save, because, you know, make sure you save your work. And now I'm going to start mixing it a little bit more, because right now I've just been focused on building. So I'm going to mono the bass, which is just something to do. I don't know if, you know, it's not like you have to do it every time, but I say 99% of the time, just mono your bass. It just makes it so much easier. Same thing with your instruments. And then also what I'm going to do is, since I'm pretty happy with this drum line as is for now, I'm going to go ahead and bounce this to a track as audio. mute this guy, kill that, and mono that out. And now, when you mono stuff, it actually makes it seem a little bit louder and more present. It gives a little bit more push to it. So you may want to go back and adjust your levels just a little bit from before. But you should also mix this outside of the beat making process, in my opinion. Like stem it out and actually mix it before you release it in any capacity. So you can worry about that stuff later too. So I kind of like that backing groove that we have. So what I'm going to look up here is the groove delay. It's a really nice plugin. And I'm going to put this on its own bus. And what's nice about busing things instead of just putting the plugin on the actual channel is that you can play with the different levels of them. So if I put this groove delay just on the channel, you know, I can't really change the volume of the two as easily without affecting the sound of the dry version, which is the sound without the effect. So I always like to bus them so that way, you know, you can play with those different levels. You don't necessarily always have to have it in or out. And on this, I really just like playing around with the presets. I don't fuck with it too much, in all honesty. Oh, let me see if I can get this window capture up there actually right now, because I keep forgetting that you guys can't see this. It's so obnoxious in a way that this doesn't work a little bit better. Okay, cool. We got that up. Let's transition. So yeah, I just got it on Filter Groove, which is one of the things, but basically it gives you 4 different kind of delays in the same delay that you can all set to different levels and play around with. And like I said, I don't play around with it too much because the presets are really good. So we're just gonna send down here are the vocals we want to play with on here. Actually, it's not that one. It is this vocal that I want to send first to bus 1. And on here, it automatically sets your send level, at least for mine, it's at -6. So whatever this fader's at, it's sending -6 of that over to the groove delay, which is at 0. So that's what we're going to get. And let's just see what this sounds like. And I'm going to play with it a bit. So actually, because I want that to go longer, I'm actually going to put another delay behind that groove delay. So I get the whole sound of that delaying even more. For that, I'm going to use one of my favorite plugins, which is also one of the cheapest I ever got. Where is it? Do I have it downloaded on here? What? I have to. There's no way I don't have this downloaded on here. I feel like I use this thing all the time. Maybe, yeah, there we go. Nebula. Okay, that was weird. So this is one of my favorite plugins. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. An LFO. So basically it's going to take the input from there, and I'm just going to loop this part in Studio One so I can just focus on the delay of this. And I'm actually going to solo everything out here. Oh man, camera's down again. I don't know why that keeps happening. Very strange. Oh well. 'Tis life. Pop this back open. Okay, we're back. I really like long delays. A lot of feedback, a lot of mix in, and then filtering it. Not only at the delay point, but I also filter it just in general on a filter too. So make sure it's really, you only want this kind of main portion, because everything else, in my opinion, unless you're specifically looking for those high tones, is just gonna muddy everything up. Don't think we need the flanger. I think let's leave the chorus on. It's a little deeper, mixing a little heavier. I'm gonna turn actually the mix up on this, because I'm really digging this delay. And I always like to have a LFO if I'm doing a really long delay, because it's going to turn it off at some point, and induct the volume, so you're not just constantly building your feedback. It's going to kind of auto manage that for you. And I also like trying out different shapes on it too, on the LFO, and seeing what that does. So I think we listened to this enough in solo. Another thing you need to make sure you do, in my opinion too, maybe this isn't true, but on this, with these delays, they're going to keep working after the music's stopped, because they're just kind of dumb. They're just going to do what they want to do until they're done doing it. So if you are really trying to listen through for what the delay sounds like, and you just keep it going, and you keep doing it as I was just doing, so I may have had a little bit of false positive there of how much I like the delay, is because it just keeps adding and adding and adding, versus hearing your true delay. Let's take all that off. And let's do the beginning. I think I want to add that thing into the delay bus as well, but I don't think I want it as noticeable, because it's going to be a little bit much, I'm thinking. So yeah, like that delay. Okay, so where to go now? Save. Actually, I'm gonna take a little space from this beat. I like to do that again sometimes. I like to give myself time. I like to work on things in stages. Yeah. I just want to show really quickly some of the other things I've been working on before we get closed out here. some of the beats you heard during the intro, if you stayed around for the whole thing, this is one of them, Bet. Just want to go through a little bit more of this, what my beats look like in more of the long game when I'm finished with them. So this is one, and I did a lot of the mixing on here too in the actual beat, which I was just saying don't do. So, you know, take whatever rules as you want them. Let's just listen through it on this, and I'll say some stuff as it comes up. If you notice here, honestly, one of my favorite things about this is like a little childhood dream of mine. One of these loops is like a lot of the loops I use are like, and Splice has these just for anybody. This is a Travis Barker loop. Now it's got his branding in it. It sounds like him. You know, I'm assuming he recorded it either for specifically the sample pack or, you know, another one. You know, do I really know that's true? Who knows? I trust Splice. But it's just crazy to me that, I mean, he was my favorite drummer pretty much of all time. I love Blink-182. Growing up in the 90s, pop punk was huge. So it's just like to have a drum loop of his on my track that I can use like legally. Like I can make this is mine. Like I can't say he's on it in like a big way of like, oh, Travis Barker did this track with me. Obviously he didn't. It's a loop he made to make money off of to sell to people. It's not like a big deal. But like to me it is. Like that's crazy to me that I'm able to create stuff with like some of the music that one of my favorite drummers of all time did. So, I mean, like, what's better than that? I don't know. It really feels like, in a way, like we can go back to, in my opinion, like, the nice thing about Splice is you go back to kind of the golden age of sampling in a way, because you used to, like, Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys. I don't know the whole story of this. It's a good example to me, though. It has so many like samples off of albums that were just out, and I don't think they got any clear at the time because it wasn't necessarily, you know, you didn't know you had to. And so now you have to clear all your samples or risk getting lawsuits from the copyright owner of the original one. And so I think Splice, in a really nice way, gives artists to release stuff for people to work with and to be able to sample freely from bigger artists without fearing or having to negotiate the rights beforehand. So I think it just provides a lot of freedom for like good stuff. You know, I really like the stuff that's on there. Everything in here came from Splice. It's very, very, I don't know. It's just fun. It's kind of narrow. It's only, you know, one source. There's plenty of other sources for loops and stuff. But I'm a big fan. One of my favorite things in this beat is over here, kind of this bell noise that I add in near the end. It's like... It's got a really magical quality to it. I'm just like, I really love that sound. But this was one of the best examples I have of messing around with the tempo on something. Because let me pull up what this loop actually sounds like. What is this one? Let me find it. Can I easily reveal that in here? That'd be dope if I can just be like, show in window or whatever. Yo, I don't know. Take this moment to do something if you're still here. Like, go get a drink or roll a blunt or something. I'm gonna find this really quick because this is interesting. Oh, here we go. Okay. This isn't it, is it? That's obviously not. So this is the original sample. Again, that very magical quality to it. Just love it. And so on here, I sped it up and then quantized it, like I was trying to do at the beginning with the other loop. And like I said, sometimes it doesn't work, but in this case, it worked really well in my opinion. So yeah, that's that one. It's a fun beat. I don't know why I saved that. I probably messed things up, if anything. Whatever. And then the last thing I'm going to show really quick, I'm actually not going to get back to the other beat because I'm just feeling like wrapping this up. I think I shared a lot. It was fun. I hope you all had fun. This is a really fun beat that I made a while ago that I don't know what to do with, and I don't really, not finished with it yet. But this is one where I played just a ton with doing different loops at different tempos and matching them against each other. And I don't know. Let me know what you think if you're still here at the end. Watch the whole thing, or if you're here on YouTube, you know, comment, check me out in other forums. I got music coming out soon on all streaming services. Verbal transplants like organ donors. Spin you off my world like I don't know you. Get the fuck back, man. I said I don't know you. No, I don't owe you nothing. I think I had a lyric written for this part, but I don't remember it. Coming up though, this is my favorite verse I've ever written. One of my favorite little things. I still need to come out with this song though. This drop to me is so good. I love this so much coming up. Got the pack like we wolves, got 21 pilots just for running the jewels. You think it's ludicrous, but we making our moves. Get out of my way, bitch, I got nothing to lose. Feel like a Lucy, can't stop the ooze, cause I spread it on thicky. Kissing ears, leaving hickeys. Rhyming eloquently over beats, hitting sickly. When, y'all gonna miss me. Boom, whole different mood. I don't remember the rest of it, but yeah, that's a really fun verse. Alright, well, thank you all for joining me. This has been Brunch and Beats. Been doing more of these in the future. Just making beats and chilling. Gonna have some streams coming up, so hope to see you there.